Hello and welcome back for at least one more round of Hooky Hour. Glad to have you back. This is at least my final recording of the session. It is getting pretty late. Pup is getting pretty restless. Well, not restless. He's sitting in his cage just fine, but I would definitely like to spend some time with him. Not that I don't already, but yeah. Spending time with Pup is good. I didn't get to expand upon my thoughts too much last episode because I was in a bit of a rush to end it. Turns out he did not need to go to the bathroom or anything. He was just, I think he was actually chewing on one of his toys that makes a squeak noise. And because his bark sounds like a squeak, I thought it was him. So, at least that's what I've put together. So, nonetheless, yeah, don't you just hate it when a painting from the 1600s completely soul crushes you? It's a pretty bad feeling. It is rather tragic that that painting has come back to haunt the supposed witch of the manor. I don't know. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like there's... So, I mean, they're both, like, on the main menu, but the maid, like, with the long black hair and the purple suit and whatnot, and then the white-haired girl, both seem to be immortal. They both seem to be, like, just transcendent throughout the ages. They both have weird vampire or witch-like attributes, like the white-haired girl turning the white rose red, or even the maid's reflection not being shown in the mirror. Bunch of stuff happening. I don't know. And the fact that the white-haired girl has just has amnesia. Or maybe she really is just born again, almost like a phoenix almost, but for humans? Ah, what a bunch of stuff to uncover that we still gotta go. And apparently I'm not even like halfway through the game yet, even though I've logged in a lot of episodes at this point. That won't deter me, at least not for a little bit. So we'll keep on trucking, as long as it were. But nonetheless, I'm done rambling. Let's get right back into it. Just the mere act of waiting impose upon you. Oop, there we go. Does my mere presence pervert you? Would it be better if I were gone? Would it be better if I left this mansion? If I left you? I don't think I can wait much longer. There's no end in sight. I can't take it any... There is no end. No. I will set a deadline for when I give up waiting. When the project you pour your heart and soul into is complete, when the railroad opens, I will be finished waiting. And then it's over. Ah, damn. Oh, no. That's, the tragedy that is unfolding before our very eyes. Maria, what are you causing? What sort of catastrophe do you wish to impend? The Pacific Railroad's last spike ceremony was drawing nearer by the day. That day was coincidentally the deadline the two of them had set for themselves, Jacopo to confront his wife and the white-haired girl to wait for him. And as that day approached, she continued writing letters. She wrote the letters purely by force of habit, despite having been worn visibly thin. I expect that she could not stop, that the act of writing was all that kept her from going mad. By focusing her attention on another person through her letters, she was able to maintain her grip on herself. But that day would put an end to her suffering and despair. When the railroad was completed, all their misunderstandings would be cleared up. They would return to the smiling, happy couple they had been when they first married. The harsh winter would finally come to a close, melting away into the past and allowing them to step into the future. With constant prayer in my heart, I impatiently awaited the railroad's opening ceremony. I do not, after all, wish for anyone to fall into any kind of misfortune. And that goes for you as well, Master. Now, Master, the door is soon to be shut upon this era. Are you prepared to see what happens next? I see. Very well. All right, we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Then allow us to make our way to that final day. See with your own eyes, Master, how this tale concludes. Better not blue ball us like you did the Beast story. And please, do not let go of my hand. All right. The night before the opening ceremony, the master of the house headed for his wife's shed. There was a tension on his face, but a surety in his step. He had found the resolve to speak with her. Having locked her away for so long in the shed like a common prisoner, Jacopo was hardly optimistic about what she might say to him. He had undeniably mistreated her, said heartless and cruel things to her, and even gotten physically violent with her, and threatened to murder. His actions were inexcusable, even if they were in response to her infidelity. That is not a thing. Not a thing at all, and my phone keeps dinging. Please. Of course, the very infidelity which had driven him to such behavior had not in fact taken place, but he was unaware of that. That's what I said. There was a chance they would never reconcile their misunderstandings, and this predicament would not have a positive resolution, but he still clung to a tiny fragment of hope. He wanted to start over with the white-haired girl, to make a new future with her. With that desire burning strong in his heart, he stood before the door to her shed and called out to her. "Are you awake? It's me, Jacopo. May I come in? I won't hurt you. I will not raise my hand against you again. I swear to you I will do you no harm. I just wish to speak. I would like to have a calm, rational conversation, and as such, I will not enter your room until you have given me your permission. So may I please come in?" Oh, no. You won't even give me a response? Alright. Considering how you feel about me, I shouldn't be surprised. Fine, then you don't have to let me in. But please at least hear me out. Do you remember the day shortly after we first met, when we went on our honeymoon? If you could even call the little walk we took a honeymoon. I was unable to do anything nice for you then either. I had no experience, no idea how to interact with an upper-class woman like you. I didn't know what I should do for you. And yes, I know, that makes me sound juvenile. I have a tendency to say things I don't mean the more perturbed I get. I don't mean the more... yeah, okay. I'm sure I said things that hurt you numerous times that day. However, at the photography shop, when you saw the Phenakistoscope, you smiled for me. Phenakistoscope. I said it. There it is, finally. My character arc is over. I was genuinely pleased in that moment. I felt like I had gotten closer to you. I very much doubt that it was actually an appropriate present for a noble woman like yourself. Jewels or flowers or something like that, something beautiful, would certainly have suited you better. And I knew that, but I assumed you would have been given gifts like that countless times in the past. You are, after all, a beautiful woman. I do not want to have to compete on the same field as those other men. I wanted to be special. No, I wanted to be unique to you. No one had ever shown you anything of the sort before, had they? Frankly, I wasn't sure if a woman of your status would take any interest in a Phenakistoscope after all. I imagine you've thrown it out by now, but I choose to believe you sincerely liked it on that day. That if just for a moment I caught your eye. Even if you started seeing other men afterwards, that moment was real, wasn't it? Our marriage was, at its core, nothing but an arrangement between our parents, an exchange of money and influence. That was how it began, but that day I loved you. I yearned to see you smile, as if I had loved you my whole life. The Pacific Railroad has finally been completed. That's the project I've been funding. Everyone thought it was crazy, but a railroad now stretches across the breadth of this country. A joining ceremony will be held tomorrow. It's going to be a grand event. Locally, they're planning on doing a gun salute. And the sound of the last spike being driven into the ground will be transmitted across the country via telegraph. I have procured a telegraph so we can listen to it here in the mansion. In your condition, you would probably have trouble handling the crowds at the telegraph station. But here you could celebrate in the comfort of your own home. The one I gave you, the one with one room, one toilet, half a bed. I suppose what I'm saying is, I want to celebrate this with you. I have made arrangements to make that possible for you, because I wish to have you there with me. Would you be willing tomorrow to celebrate the completion of the Pacific Railroad with me? Would you be there at my side? Please say something. I want to start over. I know very well what I've done to you. You may be at fault yourself, but what I did is unacceptable. But what I did was a consequence of my overpowering love for you. I swear it. Why? Why will you not answer me? Say something. Anything. Please. Please. You can hear me in there, can't you? If you don't want to, you can just say no. If you do reject me, I'll set you free. I won't hurt you. I promise. Oh. It's gonna be on the other side. The door is not locked? Who opened it? Hello? Oh no. A humid spring breeze brushed against his cheeks. Uh-oh. I'm noticing that they're using the term humid. Humid. I mean, spring, not humid. Jesus. Humid spring breeze. The drawn lace curtains appear to glow in the gentle moonlight. They've likened spring to the future, so what's about to happen? The white-haired girl was not in her room. Where have you gone? Stupefied, he glanced about his wife's chambers. To my eyes, the neatly organized room appeared no different than any other day. But to his eyes, it was pale and hollow. The one who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to be waiting for him, was not present. He could not hear her voice from anywhere in the shed. In its place echoed a dry rustling, a sad, pitiful, empty whisper of a noise. It came from the lone object left abandoned atop her desk. The phenakistoscope. I'm finna kiss that scope. It was the one present Jacopo had ever given the white-haired girl, a toy made of paper. When spun and viewed in a mirror, it created the illusion of a man and woman dancing. You still had this? That's ridiculous. I assumed you had thrown it out. The white-haired girl had evidently made considerable use of the phenakistoscope. The paper was visibly worn and tattered, warped in places, and had even begun to yellow. It spun slowly in the wind, rustling and rustling and rustling, spinning in an endless reminder of that day the year before, though there was no longer anyone around to look through it. Why, but you were with other men. Why would you keep something I gave you? It's so worn. Why? A letter? Beneath the ever-rotating phenakistoscope lay a single sheet of paper. I can't believe freaking... I'm getting it. I'm getting now how to pronounce the word because of Finna. Finna pronounced this word correctly. As if drawn to it, he scanned the contents of the parchment. It was a letter addressed to Garo mio Jacopo. The salutation, written in his native language, translated as follows. Oh, man. My beloved Jacopo. Did the fruits of your dream turn out as you had hoped? I am sure it was wonderful. It was impressively fast. A train that can travel across a continent as large as this is like something out of a story. I wish I could have been there to see it. I'm sure it would have been quite pleasant, like the day you gave me the Phenakis wheel. Am I being presumptuous? I'm sorry. I thought I would keep waiting for you here forever, or keep waiting for you forever, no matter how much you hated or ignored me. But I made up my mind, so I'm sorry. I decided I would wait for you until the railroad was complete. I foolishly thought you might invite me to the opening ceremony, but it seems I am not good enough for you. I am going to take my leave of your house, so you needn't concern yourself with me any longer. However, I do have one request. Please do not forget about all the letters I wrote. Think back on them from time to time. Do not burn them all, for they contain my thoughts, my feelings, my words. A record of my love for you. Remember, when you can, that I was always watching you. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble writing. My ears are ringing. There's a voice whispering to me, calling me a witch. Maybe it's your voice. My vision is blur. I'm not even sure what is going through my mind. I'm sorry this was all I was able to write for you. I'm truly sorry. I will leave the Phenakis wheel behind. It was my dearest treasure. Farewell. I loved you. 1869. Nice. And there it is. All right. Jacopo has just received the plot twist of his life. And that's what we're going to call it for this episode of Hooky Hour. So until next time, I will see you then. Bye!